mind blowing. It took a lot to make this video. All the monthly expenses that I track, everything. Everything that we spend in the entire month.
All the subscriptions, all of our day-to-day food, coffee, everything, trip. I spent.
What's up, guys? We're back with another one. It's Phil.
And Mel.
From Mel and Phil.
You said that the wrong way around, but...
Yeah, so this one's a big one. I decided to write down literally everything that we spent money on for a month. I literally wrote everything.
Even down to tampons.
Yeah, literally everything. Yeah.
And this is so you guys can prepare coming to Bali, if you're going to come to Bali for longer than like a little quick holiday trip or whatever, if you want to know how much money you're going to need to sustain yourself. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Let us know what you think.
I'm just going to start off with what I called technically subscriptions. This is just accommodation, gym membership, the scooter, the Indonesian sim, and the visa I kind of like added on there as well because the visa was obviously just like a running cost.
Yeah.
Our first villa, which we did a tour of already, was £340 a month, which worked out at £12 a night. And
this is per person?
Yeah, per person, sorry. It was 680 overall. Then we moved into this guest house.
This is where we're currently staying, the guest house, and it's literally like less than half the price of the villa.
£104 a month, where the last one was £340 a month per person. Yeah. So the difference is like £12 a night for the last place versus £3.70 a night for this place. So it's like it's way, way cheaper. In week 2 of recording these expenditures, halfway through the week we moved here, so it was literally 50-50 the amount of time that we spent at each place.
Yeah.
And that place was like more expensive on the luxury side, and this place is much cheaper. So in a way that kind of gives you like an overall quite like in the middle price for how much you're going to spend on accommodation. £180 was the overall per person.
This accommodation that we're staying in right now, it's a bit further out of the main like sort of centre of Canggu, so obviously it's going to be cheaper. And then obviously we
don't have our own kitchen.
Yeah, so it's like shared accommodation. If you don't know what guest house is, we'll do the tour soon anyway, so you can watch that video. Obviously our costs for the accommodation is split between the two of us, so if you're coming on your own, this gets you, you know, a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, so it would be £208 rather than £104.
Yeah, so obviously just bear in mind when we're saying per person, obviously it's because we divide the cost between us. If you're coming on your own, obviously you pay double what we pay.
Yeah. So the next one was gym. Actually, gym is probably one of the most expensive things if you want to get to a good gym here, because where back in the UK you can get a pure gym membership for like £20 or something like that. Here, the most expensive place, Body Factory, was just completely out of our budget. It's like it's like £1,400 a year or something, which is insane.
Yeah.
£100 a month or something like that. It's crazy. So we decided to go to a Bull Gym, which is close to where we've been living anyway, so it kind of worked out quite well. But it's still £50.
But it obviously works out at £50 a month because we're purchasing our membership 1 month at a time. If you were to choose a 6 monthly membership, if you're coming for 6 months and you know you're going to stay for 6 months, you could get the 6-month membership and it would be the equivalent of £30 a month.
Yeah, it was like 35 or something like that.
Something like that.
It was cheaper, but yeah, all the gym memberships here seem to have this like, the longer you stay with them, way cheaper. Like a day pass at these gyms is always so expensive, like £13 or something. It's crazy.
But it's the same with the accommodation as well. Like we're getting a monthly rate here, which is why it works out so cheap for us to stay here for the whole month.
Yeah.
If you just pay for a week or 2 weeks, the price will go up a lot. So you're better off paying for one place for a whole month at a time, basically. Both with the accommodation and then with the gym, you're better off paying for a longer period of time. But it depends whether you want to travel around or if you want to stay in one place. There are some cheaper gyms here. If you're just looking for a gym that you can like walk into and just get day passes, there's Victory Gym.
Victory, yeah.
Which is literally like the equivalent of like £1 for a day pass. And it's like what, a membership's like £9 for the month or something.
It's so cheap. So the next one was scooter rental. Again, this cost is kind of split between the two of us because we didn't get individual scooters.
Phil just drives a scooter and I just sit on the back, basically.
Yeah, so we kind of like cut our costs by doing that. Our deal was $750k a month. It has actually gone up, and I think we might do a video on sort of how some of those prices have gone up. But basically it worked out as £19 and 5p, you know?
Yeah.
We got Indonesian SIMs because we just wanted to be able to contact each other and be able to just use data so that we weren't constantly relying on the Wi-Fi, which actually was kind of helpful because at some places the Wi-Fi isn't like great.
Yeah, and especially if you need like maps to like get around and stuff at the beginning when you don't know your way.
We got something like 30 gigs of data, like quite a lot of data. We didn't run out of it in the first month at all.
What was it, £15 each?
No, it was £9, £9.20. We got the B2 11A visa, which is kind of expensive. It's cheaper once you're here because the extensions aren't as much as the initial cost of the visa, but this was still our first 60 days. So it worked out as £98.90 per person. So that's how much the visa cost us. It's going to be cheaper now because our extension's much cheaper. If you watched our video that we would have just done on how to come to Bali and all of that stuff, then like that'll give you all the information on visas and everything like that, and like the current costs and how up to date all of that is. The one cost we've realised we've forgotten to include was our travel insurance. We went with a company called Safety Wing. You can also find out everything you need to know about that in our how to come to Bali video, and we'll also put a link in the description. Overall it cost us £35 a month or $42, which seemed pretty great considering how much it covers.
So the total cost for all of those like subscription things, as we've called them, was £357 each.
I hadn't actually calculated that before, so just quickly add that one now. And the next thing was just what we recorded on a day-to-day basis, just like everything we're spending, rather than these monthly subscriptions.
Yeah, so this is where like all the shopping, food, coffee, everything like that comes into it.
I broke down food into Indonesian food, Western food, and then also we've got when we went to the supermarket and got like shopping and groceries, which there may be a few things that we got that weren't necessarily food, but like the majority of that tends to be food. Because we like cooking meals here, we buy like fish and fruit and bread, and we just like make food here, which we do like probably once or twice a day, and then eat our other meals out.
Yeah, we try and stick to also mainly eating Indonesian food when we go out, other than like our coffee and stuff, because it's just cheaper than buying Western food. Like Western food is actually, I wouldn't say it's expensive because it's still cheaper than.
It's just more expensive for what you get, isn't it?
But it's more expensive for what you're gonna get, yeah.
But yeah, so the total that we spent on Indonesian food each was, you spent £55 and I spent £87.
And on Western food, I spent £44 in a month.
And I spent £89 on Western food.
And then so shopping and groceries, I spent £79 and Phil spent £83. So as you can see, Indonesian food, considering we have it every single day at lunchtime, at least at lunchtime, sometimes dinner as well, is much cheaper than the Western food. So the total I spent on all those like food things there was £178 in the month.
And I spent £259 on all of that.
Phil just
I eat a lot more, so like yeah, literally all of the numbers when we were calculating this, I was like, my god, I eat so much food in comparison. But I mean, that's just to be expected, isn't it? So it's kind of good that we have that comparison.
But I think it's pretty crazy to think that in a whole month worth of eating out literally every single day, I spent less than £200. Considering if we were in London and I'd eaten lunch out every single day, I'd probably spend a lot more than £200.
The next one is coffee, and we actually spend quite a lot of money on coffee. Coffee, I've got to say, is probably one of the like more expensive things here.
It is, but it's worth buying good coffee because we've bought some like Balinese coffee from the supermarket and I tried to brew it ourselves, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's just really not the same.
And it's not only that. That coffee for us kind of includes us having a workspace every day, because we think that it's nice to separate our workspace from where we're living and go out somewhere, and that's like one of the positives about being here. So this coffee, every time we get this coffee, we sit down and we work pretty much for a few hours. So that's like what
coffee
that comes
shops
with
are like
us.
our office. So it's definitely worth it. So I spent £52 in a month on coffee.
And I spent 64.
Maybe we'll do a little video on like our favourite coffee shops.
Places. Ask us, tell us if you want to see that.
Tell us if you want to see that, yeah. I'll just mention it because if you're coming to Canggu, you'll want to know. Rise and shine from 1 to 3 p.m. every day. They have a coffee happy hour, and it's
20k, which is like £1. It's insane. The next one's soft drinks. This is just kind of like a small thing, but when we compare to the alcohol, maybe this will make more sense.
Yeah. I spent £7.80 on soft drinks.
And I spent £2.60.
Yeah, and that's because sometimes we'll go out and Phil will drink alcohol and I won't, and that's why my soft drinks are.
And they're so cheap normally.
They are
like normally. A lot of Warrams, when we get food, you can just get iced tea as well, and it's normally like 5 or 10k, which is basically 25p to 50p. Phil, why did you spend £2.60 only on soft drinks and Mel spent more on soft drinks? That's because I spent a disgusting amount on alcohol. We'd been here for a couple of weeks before we started this, so it was kind of the start of our trip here, and we met some people and we're doing a lot of socialising. So this is only really going out on like once or twice on the weekend pretty much, and not even for long. But the thing about the alcohol, which we've found, is that obviously you can get some very cheap alcohol if you're at restaurants on the beach or from the corner store, but then depending where you buy these things, the problem is everyone wants to go to the fun places, and all these places mark up the prices of everything. So it's so much more expensive, and so sometimes on a night out, even though they do have some good deals, you can spend a lot of money on alcohol. So without any further ado, the amount of money that Mel spent on alcohol was...
Is that £27? Oh, that's not even bad. £27.
Mel spent £27.
I'd probably spend more than that on a night out in the UK. Do you know what I mean?
I spent £124, which, looking at that number, is it makes me definitely not want to spend that much. But if I were to look at how much I was spending in the UK on alcohol, I think I'd probably be.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you said £124, I was like, oh, that's not even much.
When we first said it a minute ago.
Yeah, I think when we saw the Indonesian number and it's like 2 million and something, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I spent so much money on alcohol. But then £124. But £124 in a month, do you really want to spend that on alcohol?
So anyway, that's the big ones. Fuel is another one, just fuel for the bike.
Fuel's super cheap.
So you can literally get fuel at like all these little stands. At the beginning we were getting bottles in Canggu. We were always starting with bottles, just like filled up bottles, and they tend to be about 10, 15k. But then we realised that filling them up from the pumps, like slightly further out, was so much cheaper. Because in Canggu it's all bottles, and then when you're just slightly outside of Canggu, which is where we are, it's all really close anyway, it's these pumps, and at the top it says 0, they pump up to the top, and then you just watch it go down. And we're spending so much less, like every time. But the fuel still, you spend
£6.60 and Phil spent £7.90. So
yeah. The reason I spent more is because
there's been times when I've taken like grab bikes somewhere and Phil's like just driven, and he's obviously just filled up with fuel on the way.
Yeah, so that we could, rather than spending more money on getting a bike when we went to Ubud, for example, I just drove and Mel went in the car with the bags. So we just grab. Obviously, as we said, I drove to some places and Mel got some bikes, and also Mel went on like a shopping trip with her friend and came back. So Mel basically spent a little bit more on grab.
I spent £9 basically, £8.90.
And I spent 60p. It actually just reminded me that some of the stuff that's included in our shopping, groceries and different types of food was actually, we ordered some of that off Grab. Obviously I just included the price on there because that's what that was. But yeah, Grab's really handy. Like at the beginning we ordered some stuff that we couldn't find in the supermarkets on Grab, like peanut butter. And yeah, we just ordered food there. Like they have insane discounts on Grab. Like these just random discounts where if you get a certain amount of stuff, you get like 35% off, which is just mental, and then you're paying nothing. And I don't even understand how it's that cheap. But
and if you want to get,
are you getting this discount?
McDonald's, Starbucks, all of that you can just order on Grab. So.
Yeah, can do that. Water. The first villa that we were at, we had a water tank and we had to pay to get the water filled up every time. And every single time it was like 50k, which was obviously 25 each. So it was like £1.25 each time that we did that, and that was actually kind of adding up a little bit. Like, not a lot, but.
And it was a bit annoying because we paid a lot for this villa and thought that maybe we'd get water included, because you can't really drink the tap water, I don't think. Like everywhere you go will have these like water tanks that just like, even in cafes they'll refill water for you in the water tanks. But in our guest house now, we get our water refilled. But yeah, anyway.
I spent £4.90 on water in the month, and Mel spent
£9.80. That's also me buying like bottles of water from the shop when we're out and about and stuff, for like all nights out.
Mel drinks a lot of water. The next one's beauty. I kind of put it under that category because this is basically, I got a haircut one time, Mel got her eyelashes.
Yeah, I got some eyelash extensions, I got a pedicure, you got a massage.
That's actually it, I think. Overall, I spent £11 and you spent £10.90.
£10.90. That's crazy that I spent less than you. You just got a haircut and a massage. I suppose the massage brought it up, but
my massage was 100k.
Extensions. Like in the UK, you're paying a lot. I paid £6 for my eyelash extensions. I think that's crazy.
Very cheap, like cheap.
Next up is washing. It's the same as like if you've been traveling in Thailand or whatever. There's not really any washing machines in these like villas or guest houses for you to do your own washing. So you just take your washing to a laundry place, laundrette, whatever they're called. They'll do your washing for you. We found a really good one in our area called... We'll put the name
set yourself
somewhere.
Up for a chat
we'll
there, didn't you?
Anyway,
who knows what that
really recommend it. We pay 40k per washing machine, so like 80k each time.
Yeah, because we split the colours. So like 40k is like, that's how much the minimum for the machine is.
So overall in the month, I spent £8.70 and Phil spent £10.40.
The only reason mine's more expensive is because I had a top that got stained.
So basically they charge more for stain removal.
Clothes shopping. Mel bought like 3 different things, or like, 3 different times you were shopping, and I only did it one time.
I spent £72 on clothes shopping since I've been here. I'm a shopping addict and I've bought the way I said that.
But you did get a few things, like Mel actually.
Yeah, I've been on like 3 shopping trips and I spent like £72. I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, and after seeing how much I spent on alcohol and thinking that I didn't want to buy clothes because I thought it was expensive, I'm thinking like, could have just not spent the money on clothes.
Think of all those new outfits you could have had with that alcohol money.
Yeah, I only spent £9.50. Bike repair. We didn't even need to spend money on this. That literally cost us 65p each, so I don't think that's really even Coconuts. This is such a random one, but we actually spent a little bit of money on coconuts. They're normally about 20k, which is like £1. You spent £3.50, and I spent £6 on coconuts.
Just like sitting on the beach, get a coconut from one of these places. And I'm just gonna mention this now because we went to this place once and we spent 50k each on a sunbed to lie on the beach for the day, which was the equivalent of like £2.50. We'll put all the numbers on the screen.
£2.70, yeah.
£2.70. But
yeah, each.
What you can do is just go to one of these little cafes on the beach. They have these really cute bean bags that you can just like sit on and just order a coconut. And like you get a drink and you get to just chill on the beach and like...
Yeah, because otherwise you have to pay for the sunbed itself. And in my opinion, the beanbag's the same as a sunbed anyway, because you can like just move it back and then you're just laying down anyway. And it's more comfortable. I don't know, I think the sunbed's just a bit of like a pointless rip-off. And it's just, yeah. One thing that we did get was this microphone, the microphone that we're using to record now. We went to Denpasar and just bought one second hand from this shop. What was that shop called? I'll put it in there. Apparently all of the camera people go to this shop, whatever, all the vloggers and that. So we went to this place and got it like just a cheap one, and it only cost us £19 each because we just realised that our videos was really hard to hear some stuff. So.
Yeah, and shout out to the guy who commented on one of our YouTube videos saying your microphone isn't working or whatever, because we were like, we don't have a microphone. So we got a microphone.
So now we got one.
Thanks to you. So.
We're back and better than ever.
Yeah.
And Mel got some headphones because her headphones broke.
Oh, yeah.
So she got some Bluetooth headphones in Denpasar as well for £19 as well. Yeah, and then also within this month we actually took a little trip to Ubud. We just went for like a 3-day trip, I think.
Yeah, it was like a long weekend.
Saturday, Sunday and Monday or something like that, and we did a few things in that time.
We went to the monkey forest, we climbed Mount Batur, we did this luwak coffee tasting, and obviously we stayed in a guest house while we were there. And
the total cost of that was £41 each.
Yeah. So for a whole 3-day weekend trip, I mean obviously not including the food we bought when we were there, but we included that in the food section that we mentioned earlier. We spent only £40 basically for the weekend, which was, because obviously you have to pay for these like adventure things that you do. And like Mount Batur, for example, you can't climb it without a tour guide.
Well, I think you can.
No, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed?
The woman who did my pedicure told me.
Oh, you're not allowed.
So you're not actually allowed to climb Mount Batur.
Okay.
So you have to pay for a tour guide, which is what we did. Yeah, so make sure you check out those videos, the coffee tasting, the monkey forest and Mount Batur trek if you want to see what those things are like and if you want to decide you want to do them for yourself. But they were super fun, so definitely worth it.
The next one is tampons.
Oh yeah, tampons. Because I said we'd include everything down to the tampons, so we will include the tampons. Expensive. Girls, bring your own tampons. If you wear tampons, bring your own tampons. Because I paid £5.60 for those little cardboard ones. Like, not even Tampax Pearl or anything, just like cardboard, you know what I mean? Just
all I heard was bleep, 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 bleep.
All I'm saying is I spent £6 on one tiny pack of tampons, 10 tampons, cardboard. Just bring your own tampons.
Cardboard.
Just bring them. And obviously the last thing we've got on our list, as we mentioned before, was our day gym pass to Victory Gym.
Even though we had a gym membership, our gym actually on Sundays closes at midday.
We wanted an evening session, so we just went...
I think we went out the night before.
Yeah, so we went to Victory Gym basically and just paid the
£1.30.
£1.30 day fee. So yeah, that's something you can do.
That is literally everything, all of the expenses, down to tampons, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna tell you what our overall total costs were for all of that. I started with the cost of all of those things, not including the subscriptions that I was talking about. So literally all of the little mini expenses, the daily expenses that we went through now. And in the month, Mel spent
basically £478.
Yeah, well we did this to the pennies, but you know, rounding up. And I spent £574. And then with those subscriptions included gym, bike,
SIM card,
not the visa. Mel spent
£753.
And I spent £849. The reason we split that up from the visa is because you might get a different visa, so it could be a different price.
Yeah, if you're getting the visa on arrival, we got the B211A visa, which you know if you watched our other video. So obviously if you're getting the visa on arrival, it will be slightly different.
Yeah, and then so the overall cost, everything that we spent in the entire month.
So all the subscriptions, all of our day-to-day food, coffee, everything, trips.
Visa, literally everything.
And visa, I spent £852.
And I spent £948.
In a month.
In a month. Which is mind-blowing because that's like rent in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mental. It's mental. I'm so glad that we recorded all these numbers. Like, it took a lot to make this video and like get all of that down. But hopefully, you guys found that like insightful and
we hope helpful. That helps. And like, if you're coming to Bali, then you now know how much sort of money you'll need to spend if you're going to do sort of similar things to what we've done. We just spend a lot of the days working in coffee shops. So if you're looking to do more like activities, you will need a bit more than that.
Yeah.
But I'd say around £1,000 is a good amount to bring.
You can work out how much those things are going to be though based on some some of the prices that we've like put up, if you know what I mean, because you can see
Yeah.
how expensive these things are. Like, it's true that if you wanted to go to all these different places and like drink all the time and do all these things, like it's gonna
You'll
cost
need a lot
more.
more.
But as you can see, that Uber trip wasn't expensive.
Yeah, and if you want to stay in like luxury accommodation, obviously you'll need a lot more.
But
we're
still,
talking more like the sort of 600 that we paid in the first month that we were here. Another example is something like surfing, for example. If you come in here and you want to surf, I think it's like 50k board rental.
but for like 2 hours. And a lot of people just get surfboards, I think.
Basically, if you want to do more activities and you want to live in a luxury accommodation and you want to go out drinking often or out for expensive dinners and Western food and stuff, just know that you're going to need more than what we've just mentioned. But this is how we've been living,
just like
on a bit of a budget.
Digital nomad. We hate that term. I don't know why.
Digital nomad. Working, doing our thing, but also going out, doing little trips, drinking.
Yeah, like this is. It's not like we
partying,
were really. Is stringent the right word?
stingy,
Frugal.
don't like spending money. I don't know.
But yeah, we actually did a lot. Considering the small amount that it cost, I think it's crazy how much we did and how much it cost us.
Definitely.
So yeah.
So that's pretty much all you need to know. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful.
Yeah, if you guys like the effort that we went to there, all of that recording that I did every single day for the month,
Don't break Phil's heart because
then make sure you at least press the like button and obviously subscribe.
Subscribe, you know, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a video, and make sure to check out our other videos like of our adventures.
If you guys have anything you want to see, let us know in the comments. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments. I'm sure we can answer any of that stuff. But yeah,
I think that's all for now.
another one from now and Phil.
High five! Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.